Hey, welcome to How to Effectively Navigate Conflict with Your Partner.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Marie Elizabeth, and I'm going to also turn us on here on Instagram Live is right over here. Hey, I'm Marie Elizabeth,
I'm Patrick.
and today we're talking about uh, effectively navigating conflict with your partner, having more playfulness, and we're going to be primarily talking to this camera, but I will be looking over. Hey, hi, thanks for joining. And hi, those of you who are live here on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, please go ahead and drop a hashtag live, say hi, let us know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and let us know that you're watching the replay. Drop it down below. Hey, good to see you. Uh, so, we have a comment over here. Hey, Dana, good to see you.
Hey.
Thanks so much for being here. Yay, live YouTube, right on. And hi, Wildfoot Sam over here is on Instagram.
Hey.
Hey. And the Bay to Bride movement. I love that, the Bay to Bride movement. That's so catchy, isn't it?
That is.
So today's topic, we've been thinking about, how everything's humming along fine. And then all of a sudden you get into an argument. And sometimes it's like, how did that even happen? Hi, Nicole. Welcome. Nicole's on Facebook. And this all came about. It's something that we worked on 4 years ago with our relationship coach when we were receiving relationship coaching in our own relationship. And then the other day, I discovered that Patrick basically figured out this 3-question algorithm that he asks himself when he starts to get heated. So I'm having some kind of allergic reaction to the air here in Los Angeles. Surprise, surprise. But, and so we decided that we wanted to share this with you because as he spoke this algorithm out loud, it made so much sense to me. Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It made so much sense to me, and there was so much wisdom in it that we wanted to bring it to you together and also break down why the particular order of the 3 questions he asks himself is so important.
Yeah, if you're like me, it might help you. I mean, I think each person might have their own like particular algorithm, but this is like a good baseline. It's a good place to start.
Exactly. It's when you work with professionals, you can learn and figure out your own algorithm, but it's good to start with a baseline. So that's what we're going to offer you today. You want to, yes, thank you. I might need to get some water, get over this air situation. So let's walk through a conflict.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's walk through. You start to get activated.
I'm hot, angry.
And what happens first?
All right. First, there's like I get internal dialogue. I'm already like arguing with you in my mind. There's like this whole conversation that's going on even before I address you directly. And for me, when I catch myself having conversations with you, like I'm in the car after the fight and I'm still like having this debate, like this mental debate with you. I'm like, uh-oh. Like that's a clear sign for me. It's like, okay, I need to slow down. I need to slow down. I'm not in the present. I've lost the present moment. That's
exactly. So the first step when you start to get heated is to pause because continuing the conversation from that heated place doesn't usually lead anywhere useful. And in fact, often creates wreckage that you then have to clean up later. So the first thing to do is take a quick pause. And it doesn't matter really who initiates the pause, but what I always like to teach is to say, hey, I need to take a pause here. I need to step away. I need to take a break. I need a timeout. Whatever language works for you.
and for your partner.
And for your partner, and be clear that you'll be back. So if you're the one saying, hey, I need to step out for a minute and cool off because I'm about to say something I'm going to regret, which might be the case, remember to say, and I'll be back. Because if your partner has any kind of abandonment stuff, they're going to get triggered by you just leaving. That's going to make the fight worse. So make sure that you say that.
And if you're the partner of this person, try to be generous. Like try to be generous. Like give them the time. Like, hey, take as much time as you need. If you're not already triggered, if you're not,
right. Well, if you're triggered, you need the time out too.
yeah. You could take a timeout.
A timeout. And the key part of the timeout is not to be rehashing the argument, like Patrick was talking about. Don't be in your car.
Don't get stuck there.
Rehashing, like, ooh, I'm going to say this, and this will really get them.
Like,
that's not the point.
Then I'll be right.
Yes, that's not the point of the timeout. During your timeout, you can ask these questions. Now, so what's the first question you ask?
So my first question for myself, if I'm in that space, so I've already slowed down, and the first question for me is like, what am I feeling right now? Okay. Like what emotion am I experiencing? Because from that argumentative place, I'm not even aware that emotions exist. I'm just trying to be right and prove my point, and I'm not aware that I'm even angry or resentful or hurt or sad. And so if I slow down and ask that question, then I start to be able to feel my heart. I start to be able to step down slowly from my high horse, and there's usually some tender, vulnerable thing there.
Right. So then it's really this next question. Once you're starting to feel what you're feeling, this next question is really the one that you have told me that you asked first.
And the next question is, what do I need? Is there something that I need in this space? Do I just need some time? Do I need a burger, a snack? Maybe I'm cranky.
Maybe I'm hangry.
Maybe I'm cranky because I haven't had my coffee yet. Or I need some water or exercise or attention or acknowledgement. There's something that I might need that I haven't asked for and I haven't consciously even noted yet.
Yeah.
Often.
And then the next question, and we're going to share the 3 questions first and then share why this order is so important.
And this next one is like a up-level question. So it's like, what does our union need? So before I even start thinking about what's happening over here with Mia, I think of what do I need, and then what does our union need? Because those are the things I have some control over.
Yeah.
I actually don't have any control over this woman over here. She is strong and confident, and she does her own thing. And so if I try to start controlling her, it's never worked. It's never worked once. So a winning strategy is what do I need, and what does our union need? Because what does our union need helps me get out of my own head. My own headspace. It's like, oh, our relationship. Oh, we haven't spent much time together. We need to do we need to have sex? Do we need some physical touch? Do we need just to go on a date? Do we need just some quiet time?
Yeah.
What do we need? Do we need food?
Like so when we say the union, that's really the relationship field that is created by the two of us coming together. It has its own body in a certain way. It has its own field. And so the first question, what am I feeling right now? What do I need? Is really, you're tuning into yourself and you're putting what you need first in order to feel safe, in order to be present. As Dana says, maybe I need a tequila.
Yeah, it's like that, putting your oxygen mask on first.
Right, it's like putting your oxygen mask on.
Okay, now
first.
I can breathe, and now I can be helpful. Maybe.
Maybe. And then the next question being, what does our union need? So feeling the field between you. You might be having a fight about leaving socks on the floor, but it's not about the socks on the floor. Like if your connection were feeling good, the socks wouldn't matter, right? But the
True.
socks on the floor get huge when things in the connection space are off. So that's the second question, is what does our union need?
It's
And then the
never-
last question
Yeah.
is, what does my partner need?
And it's very important here. Don't make up that answer yourself. Actually ask your partner. Like,
About-
you can make a guess, but also make sure you loop back and actually ask your partner what they need,
exactly.
because that you can run into trouble. You might, if you're still heated, your subconscious might interpret some need of theirs that isn't true, and that could lead to more fighting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the order of these questions is important, because if you ask too soon what the other person needs before you've actually discerned what you need, you run the risk of abdicating, like, what's the word? Self-denial, self-sacrifice, codependence, because you focus too much on what they need without even knowing what you need and putting what you need into the mix.
And it could even lead to some resentment. Like if
Absolutely.
if I haven't identified that I'm hungry, I'm still gonna be biting people's heads off if I haven't had a donut
Right.
or
He's
a
still going to
snack
be
or something.
resentful, even if he's
And I'm
trying
like,
to.
why am I not calming down? Because I actually have like a physical body need that I haven't
Yeah,
met and I haven't even
exactly.
addressed or made myself aware of.
And it's a similar issue if you're only asking yourself what the relationship needs, but you don't discern what you need. Same problem. You might be sacrificing yourself for the relationship, sacrificing yourself to the partner, but not actually advocating for what you need.
Yeah.
Now, the reverse is also true. If you only ask yourself, if you take your time out and you ask yourself what you need, but you never ask the other two questions, what the field, the union, the relationship needs, and what your partner needs. If you don't ask those two questions, then you run the risk of being in a very self-involved silo.
Which
like
is
you're
especially dangerous if your partner is also triggered. I mean, if
Right.
your partner's in a good space, you might get away with that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
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 But not for long,
Yeah.
because it's like at some point you're in a relationship. You're not just out here only about your own needs, because the relationship itself has needs too. And so this is what was so mind-blowing and impressive to me when Patrick laid out, like, oh, I asked myself these three questions. What do I need? What does our union need? And what do you need? And then I usually come to you and ask that third question, right? Like, what do you need? And it just was so elegant because of this exact thing. It's keeping you off the codependent pitfall. It's keeping you off the selfish, self-involved, narcissistic pitfall, like just being about yourself and expecting everybody else to work their way around your needs. And it keeps you balanced between tending to yourself, tending to the relationship, and tending to the other person. All three of which are necessary.
Absolutely.
In a healthy relationship, because you don't not ever tend to your partner because you're tending to yourself. You don't not tend to yourself because you're tending to your partner. And you don't not tend to the relationship, because if you don't tend to the relationship or the field or the union, then it withers and dies.
Yeah, it takes work and attention. It takes some effort. It's like some people think that relationships should just be effortless. We watch these like romantic ideas and they just fall in love and it just works perfect forever. And when you look at real relationships, they don't work that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They take some real attention and some real effort.
Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you for this comment. I'm going to pop that's up here. This is amazing. Wish I'd known this stuff when married. Oh, well, now I know for my next relationship. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. I mean, this stuff isn't taught. And I don't think we naturally, most of the models that we have, like you mentioned, TV, movies, they're romantic, but they're not realistic. And same thing with most of our parents didn't really know how to do this very well.
No one taught them either.
No one taught them. They were taught by dysfunctional people. So it's really important to gain knowledge and actually skill, not just knowledge, but practice skill in learning how to relate. And we wanted to bring you this 3-part algorithm because conflicts do happen. But if you can remember to ask yourself, to take a time out, ask yourself what you need, reflect on what the relationship might be needing, come back together, ask each other, share what you need. If it's something that the other person needs to know, like if you just need a snack, just go get a snack. So you're not a dick, right? But like,
and I'll even say that like I'm feeling cranky. I'm going to go make myself a bowl of cereal.
And I'm like, thank you for letting me know.
It's kind of like this is part of like my weather report. It's kind of like a, you know, letting people know what's happening. Storm Patrick is Hurricane Patrick is off the coast.
Is in the building. You know, so in this way, you can also, when you have this structure, these 3 questions that you both know to ask yourselves and to share with each other, it just gives you a much more effective framework for how to come down and really get to the heart of the matter, like what a conflict might actually be about, as opposed to the dumb thing that you're heated up about in that moment.
Yeah, I think it does double duty because it also puts you in the mindset of curiosity.
Yeah.
And being curiosity, like when I'm really angry, I'm very certain that everybody around me is doing it wrong. But if I'm curious, but when I'm curious, there's more space and more room for people to be loving and caring and have good intentions.
Thank you so much for sharing, Nicole. Nicole says, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you. Are there any questions or, reflections? Are you excited to go use this framework over here on Instagram? Are there any questions or reflections so far? I would love to, if you try this in your relationship, like talk about it with your partner or partners, if you have more than one, and try it out next time. Like create an agreement, like, hey, the next time we get into a spat, let's pause and use this. Let's use this 3-part framework and see what happens. Let's see if we get to a different place. Let's see if we can, maybe not create so much wreckage that we have to repair from, but actually get to the heart of what's happening. Oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to use this. Dana says, I'm going to use this with my group of friends. These women are always starting fights. I can definitely use this. Yes, it's useful with friends, right? Not just intimate partnerships. Like this is useful really with family members too. Like if you notice you're cranky and you're at a family gathering, like go to the kitchen and get yourself a snack. And if it's a particular person that's bugging you, ask yourself, like, is there something funky in our connection? Did they say something at the last family gathering that maybe still rankles, maybe is still under my skin that needs to be cleared up? Are they maybe cranky? Maybe that's why they're being pissy. Could I offer them some food? Right. I mean, there's just so many ways to be more attentive and curious with one another, even when we're irritated. It just takes practice to not allow the irritation to consume.
Yeah, and if you try this, if you go to try this and you can't think of it in the moment, it's okay to do it later. You know, it's okay to if you can't, if when you're really angry, if you can't like come up with the questions or think to do the questions, it's okay to follow up and do it later. I mean, because it's good information. You get to learn something there, and maybe next time you can do it earlier and closer to the moment of it happening. And that's one thing I experienced for myself. Or it took me early on. It will take me like maybe hours or days or days to notice. To even get to the first question. So if to
get an answer to the first question, like, I mean, because you'd be numbed out sometimes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know to even ask myself a question for a day or two. But But so if you can't do it perfectly right away, don't get discouraged. It's like, it takes time to build that muscle. Now it popped for me. Like I noticed it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I'm like usually within minutes now.
Yeah, it just pops forward.
It comes
But
forward.
what you might want to do is right after this, or even right this moment, jot down these 3 questions on your, like in a notes field on your phone or something, so you always have them handy. And the questions again are, what do I need? What does our union need, or the connection between us, or the relationship, whatever you want to call that? And what does the other person need? What does my partner need? And that 3rd question, generally, you're going to ask them if there's something that they need, because it's very easy to project what you think they need versus actually finding out what they really need. And when you're projecting what you think they need, that will often make the fight worse because people don't like to be told what they're feeling.
Ooh, I've done that before. It does not work out well.
I don't like it when Patrick says you're feeling blah blah blah. I'm like, you're actually wrong. I am not feeling that at all. I'm feeling these 5 other things. And if you were curious, you would have found that out.
The curiosity for the win. I'm telling you.
All right. I'm so glad to hear this is going to be useful to you. Dana's going to spend a week in her daughter's house with lots of kids and grandkids and adult kids, and great. I please report back and let me know how that goes. And if you don't know me, because we didn't introduce ourselves at the top of the show, I'm Marie Elizabeth Molly. I'm a relationship transformation expert, and I work with folks to have more joy, love, and connection and skill in their relationships. And who are you?
I'm Patrick Price. I want people to have really loving relationships, and if I can be of assistance, please reach out. Let me know.
Yeah, right on. So, to that end, actually, something that we have that's helpful for you. I have where'd it go? I have an assessment. If you're partnered or single, drop that in the chat, because it's a different assessment for whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single. And I will get you the link to the appropriate one. And this assessment takes about 4 minutes, and you can see really quickly what's working well about how you relate and where you need to focus your attention to have it be better. It's super helpful. Awareness is the first step to change. If you didn't see our live that we did last week, it was all about assessing your relationship and having more awareness about how you typically show up. How do you approach your relationship? We use the metaphor of a car. Go find that on YouTube if you're on YouTube, or watch over here. You can find the link in my bio on Instagram to find the YouTube link. If you're on Facebook, it's on my Facebook page from last week. But awareness really is the first step to change. So if you want more awareness around your relationships, go ahead and drop the word partnered or single in the comments, and I will get you the appropriate link. And if you're on Instagram, please DM me the word partnered or single, because this chat will disappear the minute the live ends, and then I won't be able to see who sent what. So please just message me the word and I'll send you the link. And thanks again for tuning in today. It's been really fun. If you have any questions, please message me. And we're still working on getting Patrick's Facebook account back up and running. But do you have any final words you'd like to say?
Just stay curious and stay loving.
I love that. Stay curious and stay loving. And remember that a great relationship starts with you. Thanks for watching.